Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I'll also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for access support. Any kind of updates and such, I usually go about on Twitter X. Um, Monday, we'll start another gaming series. I will announce it on Monday. I'm still trying to decide which one to start off. I've got, I think, a couple of shorter games, shorter experiences that I managed to record in the meantime while I was doing the Callisto Protocol stuff. But yeah, I'm still trying to decide which one I will go first. And I'm also seeing, depending on my state, if I can sit for a little bit longer than I usually do for these videos to try and record more stuff to have some things to be able to publish as a backlog there. Um, I wrapped up the Callisto Protocol this week. So 13 episodes, give or take. Again, I think I did announce it on the first episode that I did here on the Callisto Protocol. I did manage to claim this game for free on Epic Game Store, so have it with a grain of salt, my opinion regarding the game. But usually I'm very transparent regarding that. The same thing happened with Midnight Suns, and I think Prey also. I'm not sure, but I eventually bought it on Steam. Yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, I will try to see also again if I have time to play a little bit of Monster Hunter Wilds beta. It's this weekend. Also, I'm not going to play Elden Ring Night Rain because I don't have a console. It was, I think, it extended the sessions there for people because of some server issues. Also, what else? Yeah, and I need to see if I eventually can play a little bit, a couple of demos because there are some demos that I already have installed, but didn't manage to get around it and try it out. So to see if it is a good buy or not, potentially. But yeah, other than that, let's go to some news. Again, it was bound to happen. Eventually, we have now basically pictures of. Uh, 9070 XT GPUs coming out here and there because since January there has been stock in retailers. It's always bound to happen that one or two are going to slip through the cracks. And we are already seeing some interesting stuff here. Again, according to the box art, again, we kind of can confirm. Again, we are waiting for 28th of February, so around today is 15, I don't know, 13 days, 12 days, give or take, until the official announcement of all the specs and everything. But then again, taking into account this, let's take it as true because they have pictures of the thing here. I will assume that are true until other information comes and maybe deny it. I'm not sure, but yeah, we got 64 compute units, which gives us the 9,000 something SMs or whatever it is supposedly. Third generation RT and second generation AI accelerators. Okay, got the FX, Hyper RX DisplayPort stuff here. The interesting thing here that people are talking about is the 900-watt PSU recommended. For the, I will assume this is like the super high end. In this case, this is the Red Devil. So PowerColor. I think the Red Devil is like the top tier. Um, I will have to assume this has mainly to do with the fact that it's very overclocked from the AIB, and usually I think it has to do more for I don't know safety measures. Let's say I'm not. Again, I don't think this GPU is going to consume more than 450 watts. That's for sure. The AIB cards that we've been seeing, they have like three, eight power pins there, so maximum 450. Again, I think given that they are overclocked and from the leaked benchmarks that we've been seeing, supposedly it can boost up to 3100 megahertz. Again, it supposedly going to need a lot of power to get that constant boost as much as it can. So I think it's more about that to have like a good safety tolerance there in terms of what can demand. And again, the 900 PSU will not supposedly just feed the GPU. I think they also probably have in mind the fact that if you have a GPU that it's consuming some power and trying to get some kind of performance in this level, supposedly you will have a very high-end CPU also, especially if you have an Intel CPU. It consumes a lot more power than even the 9800 X3D for gaming. Again, I think they trying to take this in consideration. But taking in account from the leaked information that we have from PowerColor, we have, for example, the 9070 Non XT. Usually, it's going to need or recommended 650 watt power supply, and we will come supposedly with 2 by 8 pins. The XT Reaper, which I think it's like the lower end in terms of the lineup from the XT variant, should be around 750, also to 8 pins. And again, here the 900 watts. I think it's more to have like again a good headroom, and you don't have any shenanigans happening. And again, I like to see at least the 8 power pin here. Again, I've been seeing some stuff while we are referring to power regarding GPUs and connections there. That there's been some interesting stuff that I've been listening, especially from Hardware Unboxed, their podcast, and I did rewatch the Bauer or the video and his follow up regarding the amperage that is being delivered through the 12-volt power pin there and how engineering works there. But again, I didn't want to take too much time with that, and I didn't find any article to guide myself through, so I don't lose myself on what I want to achieve in that 12-volt power pin, and mainly NVIDIA lack of safety measures there. But yeah, um, again, people pick up this picture and kind of referencing again 900 watt power supply, 100% higher than a 7900 XTX. Again, this is recommended, it's not mandatory. At least that's my reading there. As it says here, minimum or greater power supply. Again, I think it's to try to reinforce that it's the recommended that they go. The 7900 XTX, again, I think the reference model is way lower because, and I have the XFX version of that 7900 XTX, and it does pull up a little bit more power than usual than the reference model, of course. And I think it can reach around 360 or 370 watts if on full throttle. So yeah, again, I think this is a little bit again, people, I don't know, the fact maybe it says minimum, people are very worried. Again, if you're on this high level, and I think people again try to in the DIY market, people tend to go very cheap on PSUs. I don't know why. Since I start building my own systems for me and for other people, I always take very care of the power supply unit to be as best quality and, depending on the budget, the best overhead that I can have to offer, so it can sustain more years than it should. And again, the fact of the tolerances in terms of power delivery and everything. So people might want to add some, I don't know, HDDs at the time when I started, or any kind of disks or extra things on the system that the PSU will need to power up. And again, a little bit overhead. I think it's a good philosophy. And again, people tend to forget that it is the PSU that's going to feed electricity to all your components that are on the case. So you got that to worry about. And I always go for the best power supply with some headroom for upgrades and all that jazz. In my case, when I did this build that I have at this moment, I did go for a Corsair. I don't remember exactly. It's a 1000 watt RE or something like that, RME. I don't remember exactly the model. I usually leave all my current build on the link in the description of PC Part Perca list. But yeah, I went to the PC Cultist stuff and all check all the tests that it did, if it is recommended or not. I usually go through that all first, and then I kind of worry myself with the price later. But yeah, I think it's a big again because we don't have any official information. People are trying to pick apart any kind of information that leaks out, and it's not making a drama. But again, people don't have official information. It's always speculation, rumors, leaks, and people tend to I don't know, overreact a little bit. But yeah, and with that said, we got also Gigabyte 97 XT supposedly was purchased and unboxed ahead of launch. Again, it's one of those that slip through the cracks on the retailer somewhere. In this case, I think it's Slovakia. And they unboxed and they are selling the card again for 1600 euros. Again, is trying to scalp the thing here. But yeah, what can I say? The card seems good enough. I'm not sure how much big this card should be. Again, it's the lack of official information. I'm not sure if they're going to launch reference models AMD with this one. I will assume so, because with this kind of information, we can get a little bit of inference of I don't know why this GPU is still so big, given that it's only a monolithic die. It's not aiming for high-end performance. I don't know if they pick up and just put power to the gills on these chips here to try and get extra juice and performance out of the CPUs, GPU, sorry, or if they are really that well overclockable. I'm not sure. It's one of those things that we want to see also in the reviews there. But yeah, this one has a free 8 pin power stuff there to power the GPU, and I think this is one of those that supposedly it will be around 900 watt PSU requirement, give or take. But yeah, interesting to see. Again, in terms of prices, we covered a little bit here and there. Uh, we can only assume it's placeholder prices, but still on that Canada, Computer Canada stuff there, it was kind of almost in line with suspected prices before they didn't before they did cancel the CES event on the announcement of RDNA4 cards. And continuing with GPUs, yeah, the things are not looking good for NVIDIA. Mainly the fact that 5090s are burning up on the cable stuff there, that there is a lot of stuff that you can see, especially from the power and the last, at the time of recording, the last podcast that Hardware Unboxed did, addressing this situation. And again, because I'm not an electrical engineer, I'm not sure exactly how power delivery works on these GPUs and what kind of safety. I always assumed that they had some kind of safety measure. That's why I was always a little bit surprised that something was wrong, even with 4090s and now with the 5090s stuff. And I completely forgot that even the 3090 Ti had the 12-volt power pin, so the first version of that connection, and there was never any kind of issues with that. So it's something very interesting to think about, because I think on that 3090 Ti they had a safety feature regarding distribution of power throughout the cable, and it seems that they removed it for the 4090, and with the 5090, which is what demands even more power than the 4090. I think there is the load in terms of power distribution between the entire cables that deliver the power. It's not regulated per se internally, so that's why we've been seeing probably a lot of the burning cables, which is worse than it seems. But yeah, the user error here, it's not user error, and I never thought it was basically kind of a user error. It doesn't make any sense. The fact that even if you don't plug your connector like properly, there is no fail-safe features on the power delivery of something has high power demanding as a GPU there. But yeah, with the 5070 Ti, again, we already seeing here and there some postings and listings. Again, we'll have to assume these are the proper listings, and there is basically only one GPU that it's on the MSRP. Again, no reference model cards are going to be launched from NVIDIA, so everything is from AIBs. And yeah, the only card is basically a PNI, which is, I will assume, most bare bones GPU in terms of features and all that jazz, for $750. This is from MicroCenter, if not mistaken. And again, eventually this was deleted. Again, I think they, I don't know, let it leak to a certain degree. But yeah, prices up to $1,000 again. I was almost divining this because again, the fact that we had no inventory launch or paper launch with the 5090 5080s, and the fact that the 5080s creep up very quickly to $2,000, the 5090s to $3,000 $4,000. Again, it was a matter of time if the 5070 Ti will launch, and if it has low inventory, and the fact that you have this huge gap of $250 from 750 from MSRP to $1,000, which is the MSRP of supposedly the 5080, we will see a lot of cards going up to $1,000. That's for sure. They will try to justify it with whatever they want to justify with, but yeah, we'll see cash grab here, and I think this is really the golden opportunity to a certain degree for AMD to enter and really undercut the price of MSRP, and then people went again, assuming that this is my supposition. Let's say that the 9070 XT is, I don't know, $150 cheaper than the MSRP of the 5070 Ti, which goes around 600 or below, and performs at the same of 5070 Ti, and it's basically almost costing almost half of the price. I think, I think Nvidia might be in some danger here. But yeah, this is not good. The fact not only that this seems to be a paper launch, no inventory, inflated prices even on the middle range, and I will assume 5070 will see the same thing, um, because it's a trend. It's something that it's been creeping up since the 30 series, mainly because of that mining debacle of everybody wanted to GPU to mine Bitcoin at the time, but they took opportunity, they just inflate prices, and all is good for them. But yeah, I think this might have some backlash on Nvidia, because people, again, with $1,000 you can build a PC to play games at 1080p 1440p without big issues with this kind of budget, and if just buying a 5070 Ti that will barely make 4K unless you turn on everything there. Again, it it is to a certain degree the most interesting GPU from the NVIDIA lineup, because it's 70 class cards, but they are plugging in at least 60 gigabytes of VRAM, which is good to utilize with the DLSS and the frame generations stuff there that usually creeps up on the VRAM usage. But yeah, the price here, $1,000, which is basically 4080 Super, supposedly. But again, I think they stopped manufacturing 4090s and 4080s last year, or at least they trickled down the manufacturing volumes of that. But yeah, this is not good. We have to follow up this when it will come in around 5 days or so, the 5070 Ti, in terms of at least reviews. But yeah, the price, I don't think you can trust that you're going to find any model at $750 MSRP. Then we got here on the industry here, Epic Game Store. They launched their year in review, and we got some interesting data. Total PC users around almost 300 million people. Um, they supposedly cross-platform. I would guess it's also consoles and the stuff. They have almost 900 million accounts created, so it doesn't mean a lot. But they had around almost 75 million monthly active users in December, a decrease on 1% from the previous year. Then, in terms of average monthly active users, they had around 67 million, which is good. Again, I think a lot of these numbers come from the fact that a lot of people still play Fortnite, I would assume. I'm not sure if there is 67 million people, but you know what I mean. And around supposedly 32 million average daily active users. The total store gameplay hours around almost 8 billion hours, and third-party gameplay hours, $2.68 billion. Again, that's why I'm referring here. A lot of people may be playing Fortnite mostly through Epic Game Store, because again, third-party gameplay hours, I will assume it's something that they are not publishing from exclusive from that store. Um, Supposedly $1 billion was spent by PC players and spent by players in third-party PC games in Epic Game Store, $250 million. So there was a decrease there. They launched 89 free games. Again, not all of them are gems, but yeah, it's free games. If you, it's always good at least to give it a try. When they have good games that interested me, I always let you know. But yeah, around 70% positive feedback on all free games that they launched there, and almost 600 million free games claimed, which is a lot. And yeah, and usually the average of total redeem value of free games were around $2,200 there. But yeah, some interesting stuff here from Epic Game Store. Again, they still need to do a lot of work, especially on the interface and ecosystem around that. And I think if they stop doing the exclusivity stuff there, I think they can, I don't know, bring more people there. But I think it's more about improving and trying to be more on parity levels with the features that, for example, Steam has, and to make itself more competitive for what people are expecting in the storefront with all the added functions that Steam has. You need to be on that level if you really want to pull up more users to your storefront. And then lastly, we got here again with the Ubisoft debacle here again, beating a dead horse almost there. But yeah, they are. I don't know. We are on quadruple down on stupid at this point, which is Yves Guillemot just says, yeah, we're going to focus on open world action game ventures and service games, so live service games year on year. So they're going to go for more quadruple A games like Skull and Bones, which is a failure. That it's very deep, and sometimes I even forgot that that game came out. But yeah, after this quarterly earnings, they confirmed that yeah, that they're going to continue to invest on the same strategy, hoping for a different result. But again, that's how Voss in Far Cry 3 said it's the definition of insanity. And this comes up after a caller asked if the executives could provide more information on what the development pipeline looks like in the future. But yeah, which is something strange, doubling down on continuing live service games, given that they basically shut down X-Defiant, which is going to really go offline. The servers go offline in June this year. But yeah, the response is we have been investing significantly for a big pipeline of progress for the coming years along our two verticals, this being open world action adventure as well as game as a service native experiences. And that's what we want to deliver year after year. Um, Again, they supposedly going to announce one anno game here, Pax Romana, but it's only coming next year as well. Division's Resurgence on mobile. So again, game as a service or live service games or whatever they are calling these days. All this coming along well. We haven't provided more color for the fiscal year 2026, but we'll have more to share by the time of May. May might be a decisive point for Ubisoft, mainly because again, we'll have Assassin's Creed Shadows coming up March, if not mistaken. I already forgot. They delayed it and backtracked so many times. But yeah, we'll have Assassin's Creed launched, and I think by May they will have a better understanding how well or not the game is going to be is going to sell. Sorry about that, but yeah, and of course they are not teasing anything. They just throw a blank statement that they're working on open world action adventure, which is basically Assassin's Creed games or the like with different skins on it. But yeah, and again, the game as a service, again, it's not working. I already give my opinion on this. Again, in this kind of game as a service, for example, like World of Warcraft, Fortnite, and all these games, the Concords, the Overwatches, all these games, they are mostly buying for time retention from players. And yeah, you only have 24 hours in a day. You can only be you have to sleep throughout the day. You only have that amount of hours per day to invest on a game as a service. And when you start competing on a saturated market, which is even though we are 8 billion people, again, you have to strike people that are below 13, 14, people over X amount of age, people that don't have access to internet, people that don't have access to a device to play game as a service. Again, you have a very limited market in terms of customers, let's say, to buy not buy, sorry, to sell you time to a certain degree. And yeah, it's a little bit oversaturated, and mainly because, again, supposedly games as a service as supposedly low risk, high reward in terms of investment, because you don't need a lot of development costs to a certain degree upfront before launching the product. Is something that after you launch you can maintain if it goes well. So if you lose, you don't lose that much in terms of production costs of developing a game as a service. And I think, again, all corporations are risk averse, so they do the math, and in their minds they think games as a service, again, it seems that it compensates the risk that they are taking, because if they lose, they don't lose that much. It's instead of, for example, an Assassin's Creed, or even I don't know, Skull and Bones is multiplayer, but for example, a Dragon Age Valgard, or something like that, which is a single player game. And if you invest 4 years or 5 years of development, especially with the inflated prices of how games, how much games cost in terms of budgetary development, yeah, you might lose something. Even, for example, the Warner Brothers Suicide Squad killed Justice League. They lost on that game alone. They have $200 million loss. So yeah, again, they are they are struggling, and they are just seeing any kind of problem that they have as an L, and they only have a hammer to deal with the issues that they have. So that's why they are continuing to do what they are doing. But yeah, this if or when Assassin's Creed Shadows fails, because it's not going to reach the numbers they want to, it will sell good, but it will not save the company, because all the headroom that they have, not only from employees, but all the projects that they are supposedly still developing. And yeah, they need to do at minimum, I think, Black Myth Wukong sales numbers in the same time period, which is not going to happen. And they will try to spin it. Let's say they sell 1 million copies in 1 month, they're going to spin it as a huge success. So to try to I don't know, boost confidence on the investors. But yeah, this is not by the end of the year, this is going to fail miserably, because again, it's on the path of the Titanic to a certain degree. But yeah, it's a shame, because I did like a lot of Ubisoft games until more recent years, like almost in the last 10 years, there wasn't a game that interested me that much. I think the last game that or the last games that I played that I enjoyed pretty much was, to a certain degree, the Splinter Cell saga. I remember playing Splinter Cell Blacklist. I did enjoy playing that game, and I played the other previous games also. And I think the last Assassin's Creeds that I had some fun with was Black Flag. After that, it was just same experience with a different skin. And I remember playing Far Cry 3. I did the gaming series on that, and I didn't play Far Cry 4, or which had some interesting twists. But and then Far Cry 5 and 6, again, it's the same thing with a different skin. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see until the end of the year, if it lasts that long, how Ubisoft is going to handle this. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up here some gaming deals. We got Jusant. I'm on the middle of recording a series on this game. trying to figure out again a schedule to record some episodes here. But yeah, I'm enjoying the game so far, and it's at this moment in time 50% off. Not on sale, but again, a very addicting game and pretty good one. It's Balatro. Again, it's around 14 euros. But yeah, you have it on mobile if you want. I've been playing a lot. It's on mobile because it's when I can, I don't know, smoke a cigarette or have a break or something like that. I get do one or two runs and that's it. I don't have a lot of time to spend on the PC and play just Balatro. But yeah, this is a very addicting game, and I almost unlock almost everything on the game on the mobile version. But yeah, I really do enjoy this game. Very addicting. The premise seems very simple, but yeah, you got a lot of stuff going on in terms of the gameplay systems and how you do your runs and try to do stuff there on the game. I really do enjoy this. Then you got Vampire Survivors again at this moment, 25% off. But then again, if it is when it's not on sale, I think it's worth it. They have a lot of little bundles here and there of added stuff from characters to weapons and levels. Again, pixel art game, bullet hell kind of a thing here. And yeah, it's very addicting also. Yeah, I really do recommend this game also. A lot of stuff here, secrets to unlock, and yeah, very interesting game. Even though it doesn't have a story, it's just you just do the levels, you do the runs. I really do enjoy this game also. Then we got XCOM. This time is Ultimate Collection, which is everything XCOM from the Enemy Unknown with the Enemy Within DLC or version. Then we got XCOM 2 plus all the DLC relevant to it. And then XCOM Chimera Squad. Again, all in a bundle. It's relatively cheap, around 20 bucks if that much. Again, I already have everything on my library, so I'm not sure, but yeah, 80 to 95% off. Again, a lot of stuff here that it's worth going for. Then you got Pacific Drive still on sale, 40% off. And then finally you got still Baldur's Gate free game of the year, 20% off. I think it's I'm very interested in doing a gameplay, at least one run, to try it out, this game here. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up here for today with a plug of my Patreon for extra support. The extra support is more in line for me to try and get a better storage solution so I can have backups of the stuff that I do for my clients. And of course, some extra storage for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day. And I'll see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.